So if you don't know that a mummy is carbon data, well, I'm here to explain. When you have a peel from an orange and it's peeled off an orange, what does it do? It decalcifies and it hardens. The moisture is released. So when you incubate the womb of a woman and it becomes what? It becomes a fetus. It becomes an embryo. It becomes a cell. You get this? It comes out. So not only is life being made when you take these apart, and you get an orange, more life is being made. So us being on Earth in a 5-dimensional preset, basically, there's things walking around us, as we go about our daily lives, that is basically helium, purely helium. When you're asleep at night, there's people in your room. When you're outside and you're walking around, there's people walking around you who you don't see. So this is no different when I say this hardens and it turns into air. This right here, it transforms into air. When it hardens up, it disappears. It disappears and it turns into air. This is why you see this right here. This is a coating. It is encoded with melanin. This right here. Even this part right here is melanin. It's coded. So when it no longer has purpose in the 3D dimensional, it turns into air and turns into stardust. You know how heat rises to the top? Well, when this dries up, this goes into the air. It becomes a part of the sun. It becomes a part of the moon. It becomes a part of the stars. It becomes a part of the galaxies. This is why every time before you go to sleep, you always supposed to look in the direction that the moon is, and you're supposed to turn your bed around and face the moon. This way you don't get headaches at night. This way you don't get nightmares. This is the way that energy doesn't pull from you, but energy stores in you. It's true. Dick Gregory said one thing one time. He said that, when you go to sleep at night, make sure you face north. Make sure you face a certain direction. Make sure you face that direction, and you could see how better your sleep will be. I completely agree with them. So let's kind of really take this into habit, and let's really kind of subsist off of really becoming 6D dimensional. Let's not necessarily be afraid of transforming energies. Our flesh ages every day. We don't look the same way that we did as kids. Our flesh is constantly becoming gold. It's constantly becoming hardened. That gold plate that you see in the ground that you dig up and excavate, and, you get it out and you put it up for auction, and you get, $5 million for a gram of rare gold. This auction that you get, that used to be a living thing. It still is living, but that used to be a man. That used to be a woman. That used to be a child. That used to be someone's elder, that piece of gold. And you see that it's still formed. So, it lets you know that it's still alive. Mostly everything you see on this planet, this form, you can run currents through it. So really think about that, and have an interest in learning things about science and research, and just kind of be with it, So great peace. Yakoki.